Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all the honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all the fellow Akimatha that are preaching and teaching with 144% truth and sincerity, and to the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and to the Bayasha Dawadah, the house of David. I am Darash from Men of Valor Las Vegas Camp, and this lesson is we are yet this day in our captivity. And we're going to start off with the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. And it says, Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. So, because of the fact that we wouldn't obey, we're now in a lowly estate where we're subject to payments like a house note, car insurance, phone bill, and all on property tax and all this other stuff that we got to deal with. We're basically in a constant state of debt because we went off constantly. We tested Yahweh Hashem Shai's patience, and he put us in this state so that we could learn our lesson. Verse 9, Hear, Israel, the commandments of life, give ear to understand wisdom. Verse 10, How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxen old, which is another way of saying wore out, in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead. The dead, being symbolic of people who don't have that knowledge, wisdom, and understand. They don't. Dead meaning that they're not awake to see the truth. The Lord hasn't opened up their eyes to get the mysteries, to get the understanding. So, and how are we in this estate is because, I said before, our disobedience to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That we are constantly being worn out with work, as well as other things, and being defiled with all the abominations of this land, idolatry, adultery, on both a spiritual and physical level, as well as other stuff. This place is just madness. It wears you out, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7, oppression maketh the wise man mad. This next is going to be the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. And it reads, And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. So, and who's the one that woke us up? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Because, discern the signs and times, and looking at what's going on, Esau's rulership it's over. His rulership has expired. He's just trying right now to desperately cling and hold on to what he has, but it's all just going to slowly but surely slip away. And so, alright, next we're going to go back to Baruch. And this is going to be Baruch chapter 2, verse 30. And it says, For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, and stiff-necked meaning stubborn. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. Verse 31, and shall know that I am the Lord their power, and for I will give them a heart and ears to hear. Verse 32, And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name. So, as prophecy would have it, that in these latter days, in the land of our captivity, to where we were scattered, we shall remember ourselves through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. He would wake us up, so that we would remember who we are and who we belong to. you know, come back to knowing who we are, who our heritage and our way. And that way is Yahweh Shem Shai's way, the law, statutes, and commandments of this book. All right, we're going to go to the book of Ezra. It's going to be the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 7. Since the day of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this day, and for our iniquities have we, our kings, and our priests have been delivered into the hand of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil, and to confusion of face, as it is this day. So, our people, our men, women, and children have been given into the hands of our enemies, the other heathen nations, to be a spoil. You know, our women were our spoil, which means the men get to have our women, do whatever they want with them. Our children, turn them into slaves, or sex slaves. The men, they beat us down. You know, these other heathen nations, they would completely demoralize us, break us down. You know, that's because of our disobedience, that great trespass. You know, Yahweh Shem Shai had to come down with that hard ass whooping. And we were so stiff-necked so many times over that, you know, look at where we're at right now, the lowest of the low. But, you know, the Lord's turning that around. This is going to be the book of Jeremiah, chapter 20. Chapter 20, verse 7. And it says, O Lord, excuse me, O Lord, thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed. I am in derision daily. Everyone mocketh me. And that derision, it means ridicule, to be scoffed at. So every day we face ridicule. People laugh at us, look at us as if we're nothing. Because at one point in time, we were, you know, when we were going off, when we had that power before, you know, our father put his foot up our ass, you know, we became too prideful, becoming heathenistic, you know, following after other false idols, customs and courtesies and ways and, you know, philosophies that were abominable to Yahweh Shem Shai. So our pride became our own, became the snare that Yahweh Shem Shai laid for us, you know, to realize, you know, look, you ain't nothing without me. You need me. I don't need you. Verse 8. For since I spake, I cried out, I cried violence and spoil, because the word of the Lord was made a reproach unto me, and a derision daily. So, a reproach meaning a state of disgrace and shame. You know, his word, and that derision, that ridicule, you know, we cried out because there's so much violence in the land. Our people getting slaughtered. Our people being a spoil. So, this is something we have to deal with on a daily basis because it's our punishment. Courtesy of Yahweh Shem Shai, putting us here. Next is going to be Psalms chapter 6. Skipped it. Psalms chapter 6, verse 6. Let me get it real quick. And it says, I am weary with my groaning. All the night make I my bed to swim. I water my couch with my tears. So, you know, every night when we go to bed, go to sleep, we cry and sigh, and because we're tired. We're tired of being just treated like shit in this society. We're tired of it. We're tired of having to hunker down till these other nations that are above us. We're tired of having to, have to, I wouldn't say kiss ass, but just to play the game just to get by. We're tired of that. But, we have no power to stand against them. Because Yahweh Shem Yahshai made it that way. Because we wouldn't obey. Alright, and next is going to be the book of Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 1. Real quick here. Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 2. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Well, we did it to ourselves. Because we were disobedient children. And so, because of our disobedience and stupidity, it came back to bite us in the ass. And Yahweh Shem Yahshai made damn sure of that. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord. And chastening is another word for discipline. Neither be weary of his correction. So, when the Lord, in fact, let me get verse 12 here. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. So, basically when a parent is teaching his child a lesson, like, whooping his or her ass, he's doing it out of love. So that child can stop being disobedient and stupid and learn to get their mind right and do right. That's basically it. Israel is a disobedient child that's getting its ass whooped. And rightfully so. Alright, I'm going to close out here with this is going to be the book of Galatians, chapter 6. Chapter 6. This thing is not working. There we go. Chapter 6, verse 9. And it says, let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. So, let us not be weary. Let's not be, tired in well-doing, which is, getting the word out and trying to keep the law, statutes, and the commandments to the best of our ability while we're in this captivity, dealing with all the bullshit that we have to go through. For in due season we shall reap. So if we keep enduring through this hell, we're going to reap the benefits of our hard labor. We'll get the reward if we faint not. Which means we can't give up. We got to keep pushing no matter how hard it gets, because, this year has been spiritually coined the year of the turnip, so it's only going to get harder and harder. And as it gets harder, our faith has to be first and foremost in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Salakia. So, we're coming into that time. The prices of things going up with this inflation. Russia pretty much ready to invade Ukraine, starting a war. If America, it's America getting involved. It's all about Bible. It's all Bible prophecy. So that's a lesson for another time. But it's gonna happen, and things are gonna get really nasty worldwide. Not just inflation, but a famine. Not just famine of food, water, and resources, but famine of the word. Without this truth, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you're not going to have that stability. Isaiah 33 and 6. Thy wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So, while this truth is still available before we're taken off the internet and off the streets, what are you going to do then? But that's a lesson for another time. But yeah, I just wanted to drive home the point here that we're still in this captivity. We're still at the bottom, but this captivity is almost over. So I hope that this lesson was edifying. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the Great Millstone. Peace and blessing all the fellow Akimas that are preaching and teaching with 144% truth and sincerity, and to the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and to the Bayash Davadat, the house of David. I am Darash from Minneveller, Las Vegas camp. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala wa Ababa Shalom.